Entering the Linux world login and your shell. The Linux command line can seem daunting at first, but it's like learning a new language. Once you understand the basics, you can communicate effectively with your computer. It all starts with the login process. When you boot up a Linux system, you're greeted with a login prompt. This is where you enter your username and password. Think of your username as your account name. It identifies you to the system. The password, of course, is your secret key that verifies your identity. Once you've successfully logged in, you're presented with a shell. The shell is your command line interpreter. It's the bridge between you and the Linux operating system. It takes your commands, interprets them, and tells the operating system what to do. There are different types of shells available, each with its own quirks and advantages. The most common shell for beginners is called Bash, which stands for Born Again Shell. Bash is both powerful and user-friendly, making it an ideal starting point for your command line journey. Remember, the shell is where you'll spend most of your time when interacting with Linux through the command line. As you become more familiar with Linux, you'll come to appreciate the flexibility and control that the command line offers. From simple file operations to complex system administration tasks, the command line is your gateway to the true power of Linux. Speaking the language, command syntax. Every language has its own grammar and syntax, and the Linux command line is no different. Understanding command syntax is crucial for effectively communicating your instructions to the system. A typical Linux command follows a simple structure. The command itself, followed by options, optional, and finally, arguments. Let's break this down. The command is the action word telling Linux what you want to do. Options, also known as flags, modify the behavior of the command. They are usually prefixed with a hyphen and can be combined. Finally, arguments specify what the command should operate on, like full names or directories. For example, the command lists the contents of the directory in long format. Spaces are important separators in command syntax. They distinguish between the command, options, and arguments. Incorrect spacing can lead to errors or unexpected results. It's important to pay attention to the spacing when typing commands. Thankfully, the shell often provides helpful error messages if you make a syntax mistake. These messages can point you in the right direction for correcting your commands. As you encounter more complex commands, you'll notice that some options might require additional values. These values further refine the command's behavior. Don't be intimidated by this. With practice, you'll become fluent in the language of the Linux command line. Your first commands, navigating the system. Now that you understand the basic syntax, let's explore some fundamental Linux commands. These commands will allow you to navigate the file system, get information about your system, and create files. One of the first commands you'll likely use is, as the name suggests, this command tells you who you are logged in as. Another essential command is, which displays the name of your Linux system. This can be useful when working with multiple systems or in a network. To see a list of your previously executed commands, use the command. This is incredibly helpful for recalling and reusing commands, especially long or complex ones. For creating empty files, the command comes in handy. Simply type followed by the desired file name. The command is a versatile tool for displaying file contents. Type followed by the file name to see what's inside. These basic commands are just the tip of the iceberg. As you progress, you'll encounter many more commands, each with its own unique purpose. The key is to start with the fundamentals and gradually expand your knowledge. With practice, you'll build a powerful command line vocabulary. Section 4. Controlling the flow, input, output, and redirection. In Linux, most commands are designed to interact with input and output streams. Understanding these streams is crucial for manipulating data and controlling how commands behave. There are 3 standard streams: standard input, standard output, and standard error. Standard input is the default stream for receiving data, usually from the keyboard. Standard output is where a command displays its regular output, typically on your terminal screen. Standard error, as the name implies, is for displaying error messages. By default, all 3 streams are directed to your terminal. However, Linux provides powerful tools for redirecting these streams. The greater than symbol redirects standard output to a file, overwriting the file's contents. To append output to a file, instead of overwriting it, use two greater than symbols. The less than symbol redirects standard input from a file. This allows you to feed data from a file to a command. You can also redirect standard error using the number 2 followed by the greater than symbol. For example, redirects the error output of to the file. These redirection techniques give you fine-grained control over how commands process and display data, making your command line interactions more efficient and organized. Section 5. Best practices, efficiency at your fingertips. As you become more comfortable with the Linux command line, adopting efficient practices can significantly boost your productivity. One such practice is leveraging command history. The command, as mentioned earlier, displays a list of your previously executed commands, but it's more than just a log. You can actually reuse commands from your history. Pressing the up arrow key cycles through your command history in reverse chronological order. Once you find the command you want to reuse, simply press Enter to execute it again. You can also use the exclamation mark followed by the command number or the beginning of the command to execute it directly from the history. Another invaluable time saver is tab completion. Start typing a command, file name or directory path, then press the tab key. The shell will try to auto-complete the name for you. If there are multiple possibilities, pressing tab twice will display a list of options. These simple yet powerful techniques can streamline your command line workflow, reducing typing errors and saving you valuable time. As you delve deeper into the world of Linux, you'll discover even more advanced shortcuts and productivity hacks. The key is to continuously explore and experiment, always seeking ways to enhance your efficiency and mastery of the command line.